Recording in progress.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
I am can you.
Okay, cool. All right. I know some of you send Moodle. I saw that you have uploaded. I didn't get a chance to look at it. But I know we kind of discussed how we are going to tackle the uh, work-based assignment. Anyone wants to go through what they have done so far and, get my feedback so that others also can benefit from the kind of feedback that I can give? Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Hi,
What
Danushka.
actually? What I have? Hi. I have started like from the chapter 2 with
Okay.
the internal analysis and the disruption analysis, and
Hmm.
so I have done that one, and I have uploaded into the system.
Okay.
So as you mentioned last week, I have done the pestle and as well as the portal 5 forces analysis.
Okay. Got it. Good.
Yeah.
And okay. All right.
And
I'll have
and
a
at
look.
the
Yeah.
moment, like I'm like halfway through the external internal analysis. So hopefully in couple of days, maybe Monday, Tuesday, I can upload the chapter also.
All right, understood. And what are the frameworks you're going to use for the internal analysis?
Internal analysis, I was thought of like SWOT analysis and the other models I didn't went through, but I found that the Porter's what is that model? I can't remember the name. Porter's have recommended
Value.
another model for the internal analysis, right?
Value stream.
Value stream, yeah, that one. That one I will
Okay,
use.
good. Okay, so good. So you kind of understand what you need to have from internal, external analysis point of view. In terms of the literature review, my recommendation is you don't have to necessarily look at the industry you are in, but look at in
Okay.
terms of employee what do you call empowerment, automation. Look at what other industries have done, right? And then you can bring and talk about what has worked and what hasn't worked. Huh? So the literature review, when you're writing it, it has to be an unbiased Vivekanara. Everything what you're going to do, say whatever the solution you're going to propose, the literature review should reflect that what you're proposing is all good, so that you can take it and implement. So you have to kind of bring that unbiased view and say these are things that can work, these are things that might not work, or in past results have shown that it hasn't worked. So here's how I'm going to approach it. So what we are looking for is like your unique way of handling that particular situation. Makes sense?
Okay.
Cool. So that sounds good. Who else? Someone else, PNA.
Yeah. Yeah. So another Anushka.
Danushka. Yes.
So I can just flash it and take you through the ideas that I had.
Okay, super. Go for it.
Check.
And see the screen coming up. Yeah.
Coming up, right? Kind of
Yeah,
stuck
I can
here.
see it now.
Okay. Stuck
It's
here.
showing me a black screen. Yeah, but it's not showing me the. Okay.
Entire thing is stuck now.
Oh.
Can't see it now either. Give me a second, Amila. Can I? I'll have to do something. It's entirely stuck. Just give me a sec.
Okay. No problems.
Thing is happening. Right, can you see me now? My screen?
Oh, now I can see it. Yes. Now I
Alright.
can see you're on the task manager.
Right. Okay. Right. So in terms of introduction, it was mainly the overall background, then the how the business would look like. So it's we are having consumer business, food service, and emerging market business, and 85-15, the one we discussed the other day. In terms of that, that's what consumer business would look like today. So that detail around it, then range. So in terms of industry context, I've discussed about what's happening in the industry as well, and as you mentioned, the rationale for the digitalization, I've spoken here about the forecast accuracies that are there right now. So the expected norm is basically 95 to 105%, which is the green line here, but it's gone haywire. So that has impact on the efficiency and the cost as well. So it's either overproduction or low production. So loss of opportunity sales. And in terms of weighted out of stock also, so because of these factors, weighted out of stock, out of stock in the weighted the key outlets has gone up. So it's 6.3% in milk powder, and adult milk powder it's 19.5%. So in key outlets we are not available. So we are not the products are not available. So that's again an issue while having this. So that, as well as because of this again, our distributor level stock management. So the stock norm is basically 7 days. So it's again has gone haywire. So hence it is imbalance. So system have stock somewhere, but in somewhere it doesn't have. Hence out of stock goes up. So this imbalance is there. So how can I bring this together is the background that I brought up here. Yeah, that's on that. So in terms of disruption, then the critical it was external factor. So we just discussed the pestle here. So discuss the areas.
Yeah. So one thing, Dhanushka, can't see it clearly, but my advice here is that when you're doing pestle and all those analysis, make it very specific to Fonterra, and it goes to everyone else as well. Because සමහරට දානවා, pestle එකේ there's a new government policy or other, the government instability, but how does it translate to your business is the thing that you need to answer.
Yeah. Just
like say, like you have said now, rising smartphone penetration and increased digital literacy drive the need for mobile-enabled field sales for solution and efficient operations in enterprise to EB2B, right?
yeah.
Now here, see if you can bring to a point saying, as a consumer goods company, like say, even though the mobile phone penetration, digital literacy is high, only this much is that is being used. So that can be, then you can define that either as an opportunity or a threat. You get what I'm saying?
All right. So yeah, in terms
Again,
of
yeah. So the
statistics.
more data points you can put, you will have a broader point saying what it's under what test. Social, right? Sorry, technology. මොකද්ද මේකේ තියෙන්නේ මට පේන්නේ නැහැ මේ side.
This
Come to the left side.
technology. Yeah,
Yeah, technology.
social.
Social, right? Yeah, social. So when you're talking about rising smartphone penetration, I think Sri Lanka smartphone penetration is about over 80% or something. I might be wrong. But what you need to understand is, okay, 80%, what does it mean to your business? Out of that 80%, you can say something like, but in this particular industry, you are only using like say 10% or whatever. So that means you actually have opportunity to then, increase the sort of adoption of the field sales solution, what you're looking at. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, clear.
And then rapid growth of AI image recognition can translate technology from a technology point of view. It can translate that you can easily adapt it to, do what you're looking at, right? Now, a few years back when you didn't have this image recognition AI, it would have been difficult because you still would have to manually feed. That's the point of view you should bring the Anushka.
Yeah. So specifically on that point, Amila, what I'm trying to bring is the image recognition would be used. So currently we have a system called Proxys this other day, which does the which we capture the execution. So this one I'm trying to make it more easy for guys. So it's a matter of taking the picture. The rest is been done automatically. So we'll bring that part also into the details here.
I can think about how you want to structure. So you are saying like an external environment factors. So think about that. You list the factor, what is relevant to you, and then you show, okay, because of this is how it's impacting the business. So if you bring that, then you're really bringing that analysis to help you make informed decisions. The idea of using that internal and external analysis is for you to find out where you are lacking, right? So how you are currently situated, and then you have future state. This will help you the roadmap to get to that future state. No, that's how you need to look at it.
Yeah. So basically, it's a data point first. Data point.
Again, you will have a key point saying now technologically, now you are like we are all seeing the rapid growth of AI, ML, IoT, retail BI that is been happening. No, what I'm saying is, from a Fonterra point of view, you might be at an early stage, even though from a larger technology point of view, these technologies have become mature. So that means now you have access to mature technology that you can easily adopt and use it for your benefit. No.
Yes.
So एक articulate karan. Now you have also said the shift towards cashless transactions, Preemie, Genie suggest opportunities for digital promotions tied to mobile payments and retail. How do you see this is happening, right? So that's what, again, you are well aware of the business. I'm just throwing certain things so that
Clear.
you get that thinking. Yeah.
Clear. Sure. We'll redo this according
No,
to that.
no need to redo. You have done
No,
a good
I
this
get
thing.
that.
All what I'm saying. Yeah. Just add some of those things so that your analysis becomes stronger.
Clear. So yeah, that's on that. Then industry forces, it's mainly on 5 forces. So here what I'm trying to say is it's not again visible, but here what I'm trying to say is basically now before the government introduced the price control a few years back, this was not a lucrative category. This was a volume driven category versus a margin driven category. But now that it has been waived off, so the threat of new entrants is now high because the margins are high. Anyone can operate easily. So the government controls are now gone down. And on the other hand, because of the competitors are high, the power of bargaining power competition is high. So you see a lot of discounts in the market. Because of that, bargaining power of suppliers, because suppliers always request for offers, margins, everything, the competitors give that. So hence the bargaining power of suppliers goes up versus previous situation. So likewise here, discuss the situation in terms of 5 forces, where does versus previous, where does we sit right now. So that's the
Understood.
yeah, that's the
Good.
one. Then the consumer needs analysis. It's basically end consumer, the need, the current current challenges, as well as how the digital transformation can address is what I've done here. So in customer, retailer, distributor, the field teams, and key accounts, modern trade partner. So from every, so these are the key customer segments. Customer segments in the sense key key stakeholders in this. So what are the need? So it's been discussed here and
Understood.
finally discussed
And
digital transformation.
And Anushka, maybe one thing that you can add a little bit more value would be where you there are about multiple segments. No? So you have just to understand, you have an end consumer, which is your shopper, retailer. So you now you have a wholesaler. From wholesaler it goes to retail, and from retail it goes to the end consumer, right?
We have two different ways. So we directly go to the retailers, and we have a we distribute to wholesalers as well. So from there also the distribution happen.
Okay. So the question is, so those are your two key core segments, right? That you're selling to.
Yeah.
And that comes under general trade, then modern, and then you have the modern trade, which is
yes.
So those are your key three customer segments. So Danushka, I would say couple those three together so that you're showing the key customer segments who are basically purchasing from you. No? Now,
Right.
ඊට පස්සේ field sales force key accounts. Sorry, go down a little bit. Field sales force it's an internal stakeholder.
It is.
So you have to then, right? So you have to think about, okay, so external stakeholders, these are, then you remember the value proposition canvas that we spoke about?
Yes, yeah.
So you have the business model. Yeah, business model, right in the middle, you have the value proposition.
This one, right? No. Business.
That's value chain. That's the value
BMC,
chain.
right?
Yeah, business model canvas. Yes.
Model canvas. It's here.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, Anushka, here, your value proposition, you had certain things of pain creators, the pain relievers, pain relieves, and gain creators. So that you are then adding so that when you're proposing solution also you're looking at, am I reducing any bottlenecks that these particular customer segments have, and am I creating gains for them that my competitors can't easily imitate? So think about that.
Reducing any pain points, increasing
gains gains like your pain point is that you are not able to get the stock on time, right? Say that either you are overstocked or understocked, that's your first pain, right? So, but the gain might be that because of the solution you're proposing, now they're able to see how their stocks are moving and that they're able to place in time so that they don't unnecessarily get their cash stuck or whatever. You get what I'm saying? You think about it.
Right.
So that you will, when you're doing the value proposition, Danushka, you will have to match your offering with the value proposition. And then you have the customers. The customers are how we help them solve their problem, and what else can we do to give them that extra satisfaction, right? So that's what you need to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
No, so in terms of format also, so the needs are clear then. So challenges, so the format is fine. I'll just see whether that's been addressed here.
Yeah, just minor tweaks. Like current challenges might be like, you can say price sensitive due to economic pressure, right? So that means they might have issue in terms of cash flow. I mean, you're still more predominantly a B2B sort of thing, no? Right?
Yeah.
For them, your part, one of the, like the wholesaler might be to do with his cash flow.
Yeah.
Right? Because so then what is the challenge and how are you addressing it? So think about those. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. Sounds good.
Clear. Yeah. Thanks. Then deal disruption, I've discussed that in detail. How should it be in terms of in the industry as well? Then threats to business model. So again, business model can also threats to business model. I've discussed here BMC versus challenges.
Although the biggest challenge comes from your demand side, right? Because what you're managing is your demand side of things, and then a demand side issue address, then you are able to manage your supply side, because your supply then can align with the demand that's coming in, right? So that's where you will have the most efficiency coming in.
Yeah. True. So that part, so we'll discuss here. So it's generally, however, then restart, I couldn't still finish it. So here it wanted to discuss one question here. Amila, I've discussed BMC here, the one I showed you right now. So it was mainly discussing threats to the business. When it comes to 3.1 also, we are supposed to discuss BMC here in terms of
So what you're doing, Ranushki, is that So what you're doing is you're showing your current business model, right? So your current business model doesn't account for the solution you're going to propose, no?
Right. Yeah.
Then what you're saying is, so your current business model, you put it as it is, and then say, in this current business model, based on the external analysis, based on the internal analysis, this is where I see the gaps. And to address those gaps and take this business model to the next phase, say that your business model itself would evolve. So this is what we are proposing.
Yes.
And may also think about things like we spoke about the digital maturity model, Saldana's model, where we talk about the foundation, then partially synchronized, fully synchronized.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's about a business model again. You figure out the sequences, but I'm just giving you some of the theoretical frameworks that you can explain. But ideally, what we are looking for is that when you're doing your larger project, that you will address these areas to arrive at a better outcome. Bottom line is, when you finish this project, work-based project, finally, you should be able to present it to Fonterra and tell them, listen, this is what I've figured out so far. Here's a report. What do you think? And then can you implement some of these things, right? That's how it
should be. Clear.
They might not like it, but
true. So then
so
the
value chain
again,
this is Porter's value chain. That's good. So put that So just wide range of distribution, GTC, GTN. So make it XBL specific. Then you are all what I'm saying is, for the whole team here, your project becomes so much more enriched when you give specifics. We touch on things very superficially, but we don't give any statistics or data points to say this is why we need to do it. Our justification ultimately what you're doing is you're justifying digital transformation means you're going to spend time, you're going to spend money, and you're going to spend resources to achieve a future state. No. Here, what you're really doing is that you are justifying why we need to do it, and this is how we're going to go about it. So think about it from that point of view. So anyone would want to, like, if you are a CEO of the company, when you look at this, it's like, okay, this is where we are lacking, and it makes sense in terms of what you're showing, or rather what you're presenting. That's why we should go for it. That's the ideal outcome you should have in a ideal world.
Sure.
That's good.
Sure. Yeah, we'll look into that as well. Then, yeah, Cyborg model in terms of supplier input process. So where's the gap and where the opportunity is. So I've taken
Right.
key three key areas: demand planning, field execution, and trade promotion. So that will be discussed here. And so SWOT. So basically, SWOT is discussed just to see what are the opportunities and issues. And finally,
Go back to SWOT a little bit, Danushka.
sorry.
Global capabilities comprehend as part of Frontier of supply chain integration. Make it, when you're saying something like supply chain integration with local processing, cold chain infrastructure, and warehousing, right? Only the thing I'm trying to point out here is that if you can make it specific to Frontera, I don't know, like say local processing, you have say 100 plants. Out of the 100 plants, you have like, directly 80% integrated. Because then it seems like a strength, right? Otherwise, that sounds a little bit generic.
True. Supply
Yeah,
chain
extensive.
Yeah. Clear.
Extensive. Direct distribution network covering 23,000 outlets with strong coverage in both urban and rural areas. What does that mean from a distribution network in Sri Lanka, in from a competitive point of view, whether it's really a strength or not, right? I don't know how many distribution points in Sri Lanka, but taking Fonterra
It's actually covered in the first point, Amila. I think it's my fault. I put it in two different points. So actually, numeric distribution. So that means the outlet coverage is 60% of the total base of the country, whereas weighted outlets, the key outlets, high contributing outlets, 90% we are covering with this 23,000. I think I'll have to make it one point so that it's clear.
You can most probably, say in Sri Lanka, this is how much it is. And out of that, FBL covers this much because you are showing why it's a strength, right? Now say, for argument's sake, you have 100,000 outlets and then you're only covering 23,000. Is it a strength or a weakness then, right? That's so you have to put it in that sort of, limelight to bring,
Yeah, I think the point is clear. Just to explain, so there are about 150,000 outlets which handles milk powder, whereas we are distributing 20,000 only, but indirectly we are going to 90,000. Hence, but we are available in a strong 90% of the outlets. So that's where this strength is. So I'll word it in a way that will get out.
You have to word it because see what you need to understand is that the person who's going to review and mark this is going to read through this now. When they're reading it, if they don't get it, they might think, okay, this is not necessarily a strength because you don't have context to it. So always try to give context so that it becomes stronger.
Sure. Clear.
Right. Same with weaknesses and all that as well. So think about whether there's anything that you want to bring. Like say brand penetration outside dairy, whether there's a brand report that tells you, okay, this is how FBL stand against others, something, that you can give it from a date. Like, and that's my realization as well. Like a lot of the time students lose points. They know what it is, but they don't articulate it properly on the document because they think you can't leave it for interpretation. Or then the person who's marking it might interpret either in an extremely good way or extremely bad way. So you don't want to leave it to chance, right?
Sure.
Let's move. Let's move on.
Thanks on this. Then critical gap. So summary of the whole thing.
Okay.
Just so 4 point. Then digital capability assessment. So first look at the industry. So I conclude that industry is at currently siloed stage, whereas Unilever is in partial synchronized Sri Lankan Unilever, but at overall it's at siloed stage. And looking at again FBL, Fonterra, again, I'm also saying that we are at siloed stage. So comparison is the industry level comparison is there in the annexure. Unilever, Nestle, where are they sitting at? Its detail one is there in the annexure also. And this is basically people, process, technology. Want to understand where we are right now.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So currently I'm still there. So didn't complete entire point 3, chapter 3. Yeah, with that, with concluding chapter 3, I'll upload into the portal. With your feedback, shall I start on literature review? Because literature review
Yeah.
always depend on this, right?
My literature review, why you do so you now with the internal and external analysis, you have found gaps, right? That you need to address. You do the literature review to find out who has had similar gaps, not just within the consumer goods industry, but any other industry per se that you can think that is relevant, and see what has worked and what hasn't worked. Right. And the reason why I'm saying is like you are not trying to reinvent this wheel. No. You have already, most probably someone else would have had a similar problem, at some point. So in that sense, what can you take from them so that you are heading towards the right direction? That's what the literature review really brings, right? It brings about, again, from a theoretical point of view, there will be like certain theories that they have applied from practical sense, right? So therefore, you look at it, like say there would be enough case studies around how you have implemented digital transformation around, some of these categories. Remember, I spoke about how Spa supermarket chain lost. They tried to do a SAP integration, SAP HANA implementation, spent $100 million dollars on that implementation, and then because they couldn't read the orders, that they lost about another $100 million. Now that is a case study, right? That you can use as a literature review. So that if you don't implement the right system, then there's a high chance that you can also really mess up the operations, right? So you bring those aspects, and then I think it had saying. They didn't do the need assessment properly. They didn't translate that need assessment to the SAP vendor properly, because you do a business requirement spec, and then based on that you do a software requirement spec. Eva harita unnetang, you know what happens. So those are the kind of things you need to bring in.
Sure.
You have to argue for and then against some of these aspects.
Clear, Amila, clear. So we'll complete 3 and we'll try to work on literature as well, and we'll upload it to the portal.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amila.
No problems.
Hi, Amila.
Yeah.
Hi. So after the previous session, you told me to provide some evidences on my problem actually. So my problem was even though LB Finance is one of top financial companies, we still have a younger customer base compared to others, and how we are going to target these people to our business. So for that, so I took some real statistics categorized by categorizing age. So basically, as in when you take the age gap between 18 to 29, this amount, or 30 to 49, this amount, and 50 above. So and also, Amila, to provide a better view, I took some statistic from one of top digitally transformed bank as well. So then I can give a good comparison, from both perspectives. So now, and then I changed my structure of my dissertation as well. Just so I'll just give you a rough idea about what I'm planning to do. So in the introduction, obviously, I'm going to talk about the overview of LB Finance, as in how about the LB Finances and its financial services, and as well as its current market position. So not just that, and also So basically, it's like this. So I sketched out my whole dissertation again, and there are like 9 topics, and each and every topic I have added 3 to 4 subtopics. And when you take the introduction, I have explained about the overview, as well as the second topic. I'm planning to discuss about the need for digital transformation, as in in this section, I'm going to discuss about the shift of customer base toward digital first and flexible financial products, and how we introduce the pressure to innovate due to the competition. So basically, yeah. So in that area, so basically, I'm gonna talk about that, as in how we're gonna shift the customer base, and what are the digital products which is in demand, and about what is pressure to innovate. And also in the introduction, I have to explain about the importance of BNPL in the model financial services, as in I just have to give explanation about the BNPL and what are the global success stories on BNPL, and as well as the market potential. Yeah. So in when you take the second topic, which is about the analysis of the organization and industry. So in here, I'm planning to discuss about the current digital strategy, how am I going to analyze the LB Finance current business strategy, and how I'm going to focus on BNPL into like existing offerings, as in current infrastructure, digital adoption, and challenges likewise. Not just that, and also in this particular area, I'm going to talk about the trends and challenges as well, as in what are the financial trends and what are the barriers to the digital adoption. Because I have found in one of Sri Lanka's digital payment report that the Sri Lanka digital payment sector has grown by 30% in 2022, with mobile wallets and digital lending gaining sufficient transactions. So I can with that I thought of doing about this area, and not just that. And when it comes to the competitor analysis in BNPL space, I thought of analyzing the competitors in BNPL, as in Poco and MintPay. And I'm going to discuss about their growth and target demographics and product offerings. Not just that, I thought of going to the global extent well. So I'm going to discuss about the international BNPL players like Klarna's and Afterpay likewise. So, and in here, not just that, so I'm going to explain about why their success in relevant to LB Finance's strategy. So as in like globally, if you take like BNPL providers like Klarna, they have seen like explosive growth, like capturing millions of younger customers who prefer like flexible payments. So yeah. And for the business environment analysis, I thought of go with the Pestel analysis and Pestel, as well as Porter's 5 forces. And yeah, so that's all I have done so far. So I have to start on literature review. So in literature review, I thought of discuss about how BNPL have successfully implemented by the global companies, and what the LB Finance can learn from these examples. As in the success stories like Klarna, Afterpay, I can discuss about how these companies have scaled their services and how they have acquired users and achieved the market penetration. And yeah, and about the global practices and lessons learned. Can you provide some insights from your point?
Lot to digest, but here's the thing, right? I still feel like you are buy now, pay later, right? BNP, buy now,
Yeah.
pay later, BNPL. You're kind of fixated on the solution. My suggestion is really you do the external and internal analysis to see where you're lacking, right? And the reason I'm saying you might have a lot of statistics, but from a external environment point of view, but see how that impacts the LB finance business. I like even when you guys presented last time on LB finance, I thought you had some really good points. So think about what you presented earlier, the kind of feedback that I gave earlier was on the group presentation, and really try to, if I'm to ask you the question, what is the big business problem you're solving with this particular approach? If you can explain that to me in one or two lines, then you have got the grasp of it. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, so the problem is basically we don't have much younger customer base compared to other companies. As in,
But
the majority of
why?
customers.
So when you say when you don't have enough younger customer base in comparison to others, one question I would have is, do you really need the younger customers, or do you want customers who are high paying or doing higher level of transaction, right? So there has to be some level of justification.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So one of the things you can do is that when you're doing the internal analysis, take your existing customer base. See, okay, once you dissect it, say maybe you might have, professionals, Gen Zs, retired, whatever the mix, right? ඒක අරගෙන dissect කරලා බලන්න කොහෙන්ද ඔයාට වැඩියෙන්ම කියන්නේ once you break it down, see under each segment who has the highest churn rate, who does the highest number of transactions, who tend to have, per transaction value කොච්චරක්ද ඒ mix එක බලන්න. ඒ mix එක බලපුවම then you will see, okay, right now you are having this solid customer base, but here are the gaps that I'm seeing, right? And that's what I'm saying. Now, when you're saying younger customer base, question is whether they have the kind of financial muscle, especially from a Sri Lankan point of view, whether these kids who are below 30, do they have enough money to get into they will use more from the credit card, right? But would they have enough savings? Because that's what it is now. Because till you get to a certain position in life, especially if you're a younger professional, you might not necessarily have the financial muscle, right? So think about those aspects. Think about, like, I don't know the percentage between, like, say, Gen Z professionals and Gen Z content creators, for argument's sake. Can you find some details around that? Look at those external factors as well as internal factors. And the reason I'm saying is, like, when you're saying buy now, pay later, how much does that account for from your overall business? What is your highest? Like, you might have savings accounts, current accounts, credit cards, debit cards, whatever, right? But this buy now, pay later, is it such a big deal? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But if it's based on the past statistics, where is it heading if you're looking at that, right? So I'm assuming, like, buy now, pay later wasn't a thing few years back till Mint and Coco and all of them came and started doing it, right? Then how those companies have grown, right? Because you spoke about Porter's five forces, no?
Yeah.
Right? So under Porter's five forces, Coco and Mint can be a threat of substitute for you, right? In that sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So what is that? Whether it's a high level of threat or a low level of threat, can you turn that threat into an opportunity or a strategic partnership? That will give you a better info, because you even have to do buy now, pay later. Can you do it with Coco or Mint, for argument's sake? Right? So those are things. Don't try to jump to the solution first. Try to do your analysis and see where do you really need to go, and you might come up with something else. I don't know if I told you guys this. I've been working on my doctorate, which I haven't finished, right? But my realization was, again, I was like you. I was saying in the apparel sector, even though we do innovation, the innovation is not driving so much of value. Because you have the core business, right, which is basically the cash cow. But we do innovation, it creates marginal revenue growth, but it's not a sustaining or a recurring thing. So when I did the internal and external analysis, what I realized was our innovation model itself is the problem. It's not that innovation inherently is not working. It's that the model that we have is the problem. So now I had to do my research methodology. The sort of, like, the thing that I want to propose is that, okay, if that's the case, then how do we create a public-private partnership where we kind of have external innovation coming into the system and then using that to leverage things at a much rapid pace, and but also get funding from external. So that changed my perspective of how I was looking at earlier. That's why that internal and external scan is very important, so that you suddenly start seeing something that you were not seeing before. And that's why this internal external analysis value addition again, when you do that, you will see those missing gaps for the business. That's what it is. Don't try to jump to the solution first scale again, my friend, because otherwise what happens is every analysis, every scan you're going to do is going to be revolved around how do I get to this solution. That should be the case. Your digital transformation should be like, you look at that scan and see what can we do. And I'm not saying that BNPL is wrong. Huh? What I'm saying is it really the burning issue for LB Finance? If it's not, what is that issue? Because you will have a bigger thing that you need to deal with when it comes to the digital transformation, right? Because BNPL will help you with your maybe the demand side, but then how do you manage the supply side, right? How do you then link this back to your business model? Because also part of your work-based project is that what is your current business model and how you're going to transform that business model into a future business model, right?
Yeah.
So think about those.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problems. Who else?
Hi, Amila Pasindu here.
Hey, Pasindu, let's go for it.
Hi. As per our last session, you told me to get some insights on the customer segmentations, what I'll be doing with these customers and all. So as same as Nuri, I did some customer segmentations around 18 to 29, 30 to 49, and 50 plus. So
Okay.
and also I went through the application, the digital mobile application as well. Looked at the CRM app and the app analytics data. So when looking at that, it's only have about 300,000 customers. And from those customers, most of them are in the middle age, that around 30 and 49. They are bringing the most of the revenue. So, and also I thought that when coming to digital transformation, we should focus on those customer segment firstly, without, and also getting the, how do we say, Gen Z customers as well, by focusing on them. So basically, I thought what was, sorry, Amil. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, like, good that you have done the analysis. So what you need to understand is, I don't think we have discussed this later. I forget the exact framework, right? So when you look at your customer segments, and especially with your products, you will have like, cash cows, means that these customers, you don't have to do much, but it builds you the revenue, right? Then you have the potential customers, but who are not giving enough revenue. Those are called like, almost like problem child, because like, it's a segment that you can grow to a cash cow, but not there yet, right? Then you have the stars, which is basically like, have high potential, but not realize it. And then you have segments, no matter what you do, they're not going to come to that, that level of a cash cow, right? So based on what you just said, see when you're looking at the transformation, also see how you can, that high paying customers, how do you manage the relationship, right? Because I'm assuming if they're already doing something with you, you need to strengthen the relationship with them so that they don't go to a different financial institution, right? So that's one.
Yeah.
Then to get the Gen Zs in, you might want to have a lot more digitally driven initiatives so that you can onboard them. So then you have to find a balance between, okay, how many initiatives can I do at a given time? And then how do I really look at it, right? One of the things you also need to remember is, and again, relevant to all of you, is that you might not be able to have a common value proposition for each segment. And the reason why I'm saying it is like the way you deliver that value proposition can be through certain common channels. But for Gen Z, LB Finance might create one sort of value proposition with a product variant what you have. For the high paying customers, you might have another product variant that would create a slightly different value proposition. So think about those aspects as well.
Right.
Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good, Amila.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was thinking then, before you said those things, I was thinking that I should mainly focus on that customer segment. But now I feel like for the Gen Zs and the middle-aged and the senior citizens, I should probably think about holistic approach to all of them, and what kind of differences can I make in the approach that I do. I want to do a digital transformation and adapting those customers to the digital platforms. So I have to go for that as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Amila.
No problems. And also think about this, right? So you will have different customer segments. You might have, say you will have base products, right? Like say you have savings, current, debit cards, whatever base products, right? But you will have variants of those. All those would be managed through a common backend, because that's going to make a lot more sense, because you have then a common data platform that you can see which segments, right? So think about from that point of view. And then also like even like communications, how do you want to, like, some customers might want personal relationships, right? Like the high paying customers want a relationship manager, but Gen Z can be managed through your app. But bring that justification and say, these are the kind of numbers, the data points I have to justify this. Or these are the numbers that we have, so that it gives me justification not to do it, right? But also look at that, as I said again, to how I told Danushka, even the literature review, when you're doing it, look at what has happened in other countries in terms of financial institutes, even like, say, Amazon, AliExpress, all that stuff, right? Like, say, for argument's sake, WeChat in China might be direct competitor for you if they launch here, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everything is linked to a chat. You can do almost anything on that. So think about those aspects as well when you're looking at this, because then it goes to show that if you remember some of the earlier subjects we did, we spoke about divergent thinking and convergent thinking, right? And divergent thinking, why you do divergent thinking is that you look at so many different possibilities, right? Then based on your scan, based on the data you have, you start converging, you start narrowing it down. So think about how you can narrow it down and then come to a solution that's going to give you that runway that you need for the digital transformation. That also would mean that your business model itself would transform in time to come. So, sounds good?
Sounds good, Amila. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Who else? They're good for the moment, guys. I might need to go a little bit early today because I have to get something else done. But if there's no more questions, let's catch up again at the next session. And then, really positive, if you can have some stuff written and uploaded to the Moodle, then we can go through it next time so that I can give you some direct feedback like how I was doing with Danushka.
Sure,
Amila.
Amila.
Yeah. All right, guys, then. Have a good weekend and good work. Huh? Keep the momentum going. The point about this, like even when you start doing the next project, ideally you should be writing, quite frequent and keep doing research so that you will rather enhance the outcome of your final thesis, what you're going to do. Okay.
Sure. Thanks, Amila.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
then.
you.
Take care.
Weekend.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.